And we're live.
Yep.
Indie Week headquarters, downtown Toronto, on a rainy day.
Yeah.
As you crack your beer.
Yes. It's beer time, right?
Yeah.
Every Thursday. Well, usually
Beer or cider.
Yeah. Or Jack Daniels.
Yes.
What do you have?
Once again, I liked it so much last week. I had a couple of them, so I've got a Freedom 35, the Trailer Park Boys lager. I'm quite liking it, though. The last place in the world I'd want to be right now is a trailer park, I think.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Horrible out in southern Ontario. Just a ton of rain. Oy.
My beer is interesting. It's actually, let me see if I get the label up here. Red Racer Pills. And if you read it, it's actually for autism. 25 cents from every can goes to autism.
It's not for autism, it's in support of autism.
I'm just saying, reading it. It
Right.
says for autism.
Okay.
Reading it, right? But 25 cents from every can goes to autism research.
That's cool when beer companies and liquor companies get behind causes, much like we do with Mill Street Lights Out. They give money towards Earth Day initiatives, and
Yeah.
you know, it's a good, if you don't want to donate when you're asked at the checkout or whatever, if the company's going to do it for you, more power to them. So I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Dead air, dead air, dead air.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Pilsner. All right.
Lager, Pilsner, I don't know. They all taste the same to me in a lot of ways. Unless they have fruit in them or coffee or things like that. Fairly quiet week last week. Last Thursday night, I was honored to go to the 40th anniversary staff party for Q107. I know there's one coming up, I believe, June 2nd at the Phoenix for the public.
Okay.
But it was the 40th anniversary of the beginnings of the station, which were at Yonge and Bloor on the 30th floor, high above Rock and Roll Heaven, which was our local hangout. Gary Slate started the station, and his father, Alan.
Right.
And it's hard to believe, it's 40 years since Q107 went on the air. So they invited all the old staff, all the old on-air people, and a few record company weasels like myself, Gary Muth and Chris Alacock, and there was a few others there. And it was just great to see old friends like, All Night Andre, Frenchie McFarland, Gene Velitis, Andy Frost.
Andy Frost.
Andy
I haven't
Frost.
heard that name in a while.
Yeah, well, he was doing the voice of the ACC for a while.
Yeah.
Every time he went to a Leaf game. So it was just really nice to spend. We went across the street because the studios are no longer where they were. So closest proximity was the 51st floor of the Manulife Center.
Nice.
So it's just a really nice party, very intimate, and just to see some old friends, Steve Anthony, we had a few laughs, John Gallagher, some people I still see, but I haven't seen Gene Velitis for years. We used to be next door neighbors, and he moved to LA, so he just moved back with his wife Carla, so it was really a lot of fun. I was hoping to see some other people, like Bird in Chicago, but I guess he's still on the air out there.
Right.
Remember, I don't know if you remember. No, you would have been out like K97 way, right?
Yeah. See,
In your formative rock years.
I'm from Edmonton. I don't know a lot of
The Bear, K97.
Yeah. K97 was the big one. Ched.
Ched was the AM station.
Yeah, 6:30 Ched.
Yeah.
And the Bear was coming in as I was moving, kind of like the last year or two.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It didn't really impact me a lot. This K97 was the.
Do you remember your jocks out there? Was Fish on the air back then, or
I wouldn't know.
John Derringer was actually. I think he started at K97, if I'm not mistaken,
really?
before he came to Toronto. He was at the party. And God love our mayor of Toronto, John Tory. He was there.
Nice.
Every music event I go to in the city or charity event, it seems like John Tory is there. So he's very supportive of the arts.
Yeah, and I
really
saw
nice.
him at one too fairly recently. So
Oh, you went to did you go to the YouTube thing? Was he there or?
YouTube thing. No,
Oh, something else.
something else. Yeah, but he is quite out there, like supporting artists and events.
Events,
Yeah.
for the city. Anything that has to do with his city, he's there showing support, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, but much more than a lot of others have done. So
Yeah. No, it's good to have his support.
yeah, but yeah, it was a pretty quiet week. I didn't do anything all weekend. It was a long weekend and kind of bad weather, so I just stayed in.
Yeah, the sun came out Monday afternoon of Victoria Day for my first lawn bowling tournament of the season, so,
We're boring as far as what we usually are doing.
Lawn bowling's a lot tougher than you think, kids.
I mean, in the music sense.
Yeah.
No parties, no events.
No, not really. No. Yeah, the Cubas party. I got to put my glasses on here. There are some things coming up this week, though. Our friend Jim Dandy tomorrow night at Cherry Cola's.
Yep.
Who's played Indie Week quite a few times.
Yeah, Jim Dandy, great bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So.
This Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 66 Kensington Street in the heart of Kensington Market, a place called Prohibition. My old friend Greg Godovitz is going to be there talking about the El Macombo, and they've got a great line of El Macombo merch.
Right.
So if you want to go to talk to a Canadian rock and roll legend and find out what's happening with the El Macombo and Spadina, which will be opening this year.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait. God, I lived there when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's a legendary bar when I moved to Toronto, and
Yeah.
I remember getting to play there and how excited
Oh,
I
you
was.
get to play there?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And Elvis Monday, and then also
Yeah, William New, Elvis Mondays.
that's right. And I was in a band for about half a year called Melanova, and we did a show with Dan Burke.
Ah.
At least a couple, you know. Yeah, Dan was a big fan of the band.
Yeah, Dan was a booker there. Our friend Yvonne Metzel booked there for years as well. And yeah, just a legendary venue. We can't wait for it to get up and running again.
Yeah. And the merch they have is awesome.
Yeah, like the El Macombo since 1949. Because it used to be a dance hall. Like Glenn Miller played there and artists like that. It was a really, like the Palais Royale.
Yep.
A very high-end, big band venue as well.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, the merch looks awesome. They had it out at CMW, and I was actually tempted to get something, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll stop in this weekend.
Yeah, but it's nice. I haven't been to Kensington Market for a while, so I wouldn't mind getting over there as well. And I haven't seen Greg for a little bit. Next Thursday, our friend Angela Saney will be doing a daytime show at David Pico Square. You can go to Angela's website, and David Pico Square is near Metro Hall, right downtown Toronto, around John and Kingish area.
Okay.
There's a great public square there, and Angela's playing. Some friends of ours from Ottawa, Double Experience,
Yeah, my boys.
will be in town next Friday, now, a week Friday, at Cherry Cola's.
With Fandemics. And Fandemics has Paul Thompson in. And Paul Thompson was in Darlings of Chelsea, who was a band we took to Ireland.
Cool, I like
For 80
Darlings,
weeks.
Chelsea.
Yeah, they were awesome rock and roll band. Jay Millette was in the band, who's in Midnight Towers, who played for us last year
Right.
at Bovine too. So yeah, next Friday, June 2nd at Cherry Cola's, Double Experience. And in fact, I just see Ian joined. Shout out to Ian from Double Experience. Yep. Good timing.
Yeah.
So yeah, next Friday, June 2nd, Double Experience Fandemics at Cherry Cola's. I'll be there. It'll be fun.
I might be there too. You can see us together,
Yeah.
you can buy us a drink, or maybe if we like you, we'll buy you a drink. You never know.
Exactly.
Don't make
Yeah.
promises. Also next Friday, our Indie Week winners from last year, Moontan, will be in their hometown at the Pyramid, one of the great rock and roll clubs in Canada that's still going on.
Right.
There's great rock and roll clubs closed all around us, but our boys Moontan at the Pyramid, which has been a long-standing great venue in Winnipeg.
Yeah, those Moontan, if you haven't seen them, go check it out.
Yeah,
It's
so much
awesome.
fun. And next Friday, I just found out it's sold out both shows at 8 and 11. The Headstones are playing two special benefit shows for CAMH,
Right.
charity shows, and also to help promote their new album on Cadence Records. But both sold out at Velvet Underground.
That's awesome. Like one, it's great that a band like Headstones, is doing shows like that, and I think artists should do more of that kind of thing, build awareness and some charity. And CAMH, we talked a bit last week. Just sort of again falls in line. Like we talked about we're doing this health and wellness
Right.
day at Indie Week this year, and the signs are all around us. Like this is a really important topic, and it's nice to see that both shows are sold out.
Yeah, and it was actually this date in 1980 that Joy Division was to start their North American tour at the Edge with the two Garys.
Right.
It would have been tonight, in 1980.
Really?
Yeah, which is
Wow.
37 years ago, which once again, Ian committed suicide, so that fits in with
Yeah.
CAMH. It's amazing. Tim and Hugh were on CP Breakfast Television this week with my friend Steve Anthony,
Right.
talking about the show and talking about the new album and their deal with Cadence. And they shouted me out as the guy who signed
I
it.
was just gonna say, there's quite the Cam Carpenter shout out.
Yeah,
This week.
which was nice because I was the guy who signed them way back in the day at MCA Records. So I put it on my Twitter feed, of course, and I put it on my Facebook. And the reaction was unbelievable. I've got so many new friends. Like the fans of the Headstones are all around the world. People were just adding me left and right and stuff. And the reach was like one of the biggest things I've ever tweeted. And I didn't even think much about it.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, last week the Headstones did a video from Stop, Drop, and Roll, and they were previewing some of their songs. And I gotta say, this is like sounding like the best Headstones.
Yeah, I think when they got together a couple years ago to tour, it was, they just tried it out, and Hugh was obviously very busy doing a bunch of films, and they've reconfigured the band a little bit. There's another guitar player now, and Steve Carr's drumming.
Right.
But I think when they toured last fall, like they got the buzz back. Like they were like, okay, this is real again. Let's go in. Let's sign a record deal. Let's make a new record. They went over to the Bathhouse in Kingston.
Yeah.
The hip studio to make this record. And I think they've got the rock and roll bug again. So that's great news for.
Yeah, it was like the clips they were playing. It sounds awesome.
Yeah,
like,
it's mean.
Rock and roll. And I think a lot of bands do this. When they come out, they're young, they're energetic, but they're also kind of like young. And other aspects, like they're new to the business.
Yeah, they don't know the business.
They don't know the business, and they're trying to navigate that, and that ends up distracting from making music and all that. When you're a little older, you can kind of go, this is what we're doing. And they run the business a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the deals are a little bit different. Like this, we're going to give you the music. A&R guy doesn't have to approve anything.
Right.
Here it is.
Which I never did in the first place either. I went in once a week with a case of beer, listened to a few songs. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Actually, what you should talk a bit about is in part of the shout out, they were saying how they got signed. Like, because you signed the Headstones.
Yeah.
So maybe, tell what that story is.
Well, they didn't really say how.
The president showed up and played drums or something?
But when they signed their deal with Cadence, the president of Cadence Music Group is Ian Taylor. And then back when I signed up at MCA, Ian was part of the staff. He was on the sales team.
Right. Oh, okay, there we go.
And now he has since moved to become president of Cadence.
Right.
So he had a long history with the band, but once removed, didn't hang out with them like I did, obviously, back then. But it was really cool that, when they...
So how did you find them, and how did you think they were a band that's worth signing?
I got 2 phone calls the same week, because it was, it was way before emails and things like that. I heard from Joe Bamford, who I knew because he was partnered with Gary Pring, and they managed I received 2 phone calls, one from Joe Bamford, a manager who I respected, and another from the booker at, upstairs. Oh my God. Around the corner from here. Why am I drawing a complete blank? Yvonne Metzel.
Oh, X-Ray?
X-Rays, but above X-Rays, it was...
Oh, man, I can't even remember that.
Why do I think it starts with a V or whatever?
I'll come to us. But
it certainly will.
X-Rays, right?
Yeah, above X-Rays.
Yeah.
And Yvonne was a booker and was like, Cam, you have to see this band. So I went and saw the band, watched their first set. There was about 12 people in the audience. Hugh reminded me of Frankie Venom from Teenage Head. He just had that energy and the angst. And get the mic stand, spit into the ceiling. And after the set, I offered to buy him a drink, which he found out I was buying, so he would order doubles, and went on and proceeded to play the second set. Then at the end of the night, I'm standing at the bar with Joe Bamford, who's there now, and we're talking, and Joe introduces me as the head of A&R from MCA, and Hugh had this roll of posters, and he smacked me over the head. He goes, you never said you were the A&R guy? And I said, you never asked. So then I sort of challenged him. I said, okay, let's go out next week. If you can keep up with me, I'll sign you to a record deal. He couldn't, but, we signed them anyways, and the rest is history.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have your ring on?
Of course I always have a ring on.
There
Never
you go.
take it off.
That's awesome.
This is going to drive me nuts now for the rest of it. The rest of this.
X-rays?
Above X-rays. Ultrasound. Oh
Ultrasound.
my God.
There you go.
Thank God. Sorry, Yvonne. But yeah, just getting a call from 2 people I really trusted their ears and made all the difference. And then, of course, the band having the goods live. That was the bottom line. So.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned it before in a different podcast, but I saw them in Edmonton at Sidetrack Cafe, where the Morganfields opened for them.
And I helped sign the Morganfields as well.
Yeah. And it was just pure rock and roll attitude.
Yeah.
Like start to finish.
Yeah, that was the Teenage Head thing. Like Frankie and Hugh Dillon are very similar.
Yeah.
And luckily, one of them's still with us, because it could be very easily neither of them could be with us right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
but it's to go to Frankie and his family. But
those shows are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And the people who have tickets are very lucky.
Yeah, and Hugh was saying on the air they're looking at a fall tour as well. So they were like tossing names around like Rancid and stuff, which could be a major tour for the boys this fall. So
That'd be great.
with the new album under their belts too. So I think there'll be this renewed energy on radio as well, and new fans who've never heard of the band, and
Yeah,
it'll kick ass.
It'll be interesting to see how he balances his acting career with music as this goes. Because, like I said, I think this music is the best I've heard of them. Like, it seemed like track after track, like whatever he played sounded great. So yeah, it's good to see the guys again, and hopefully it's very successful for them.
Speaking of guys with attitudes, I forgot to mention last week I didn't have my book, but Porcelain by Moby is a fantastic book.
Yeah.
What a great writer. He's a descendant of Herman Melville, who wrote Moby Dick, so the guy can write. But if you think it's about the guy, who wrote the album Play and stuff like that, it's not. It's about his punk rock rave roots. And actually, the book stops when he gets his record deal for Play.
Really?
But it's still incredibly intriguing and funny and sad. And so I highly recommend Porcelain by Moby. But the one I'm reading right now, speaking of punk rock,
There you go.
Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols and Jonesy's Jukebox. What a thug this guy was as a kid. I'm only halfway through, but he's out there thieving David Bowie's guitars, and he's a peeping Tom, and he's sleeping with Chrissy Hind, and it's a really good. He is in a lot of ways the Sex Pistols. It was him and Cook who started the band well before Malcolm McLaren got involved, and before Rotten, and they had other bands before that. So,
just curious, is Glenn Matlock?
Glenn just joined now,
Okay.
so yeah, I'm about halfway through. So yeah,
we had Glenn at Indie Week.
who also has a book which I've never read. I have to.
I've got it, so
Yeah.
I'll lend it. But Glenn's he shared some stories, and it's always quite interesting anything about the Sex Pistols.
Well, it's always interesting, because like Rotten's written a couple books. There's lots of books about Sid, and we had the documentary last year. But you get different perspectives from everyone. Like he talks about Matlock's book actually quite a bit, saying, Glenn says I did this, but I can't remember. And it'd be interesting to read Glenn's after this, and having read Lydon's, both of his. And then of course Glenn went on to play with my old buddy Midge Ure in the Rich Kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That I did not know.
And I didn't know that Midge was considered for the singer as the Sex Pistols when he was up in a band called Slick in Scotland, and Malcolm wanted to audition him. And I think that might be Sylvain's white Les Paul that was stolen. That Steve Jones is playing right there. So,
good old
from the New York
Dolls.
Dolls, yes.
Yeah.
So great book. Both books are great. Next week, the new Spotify lists are up for this week. As always, they come up on Monday. Lots of cool bands.
Right.
Next week's, I put these together about a year ago when we first got our Spotify account, and I was just making playlists. And I did two about Manchester, and one was like the Manchester scene, so it was the Smiths and New Order and Happy Mondays and the Charltons, and it's a great 20-song encapsulation of that history.
Era. Yeah.
And I also did one called the early years, which is the Hollies, the Bee Gees, even though they were from Manchester, even though they came from Australia and stuff.
I didn't know that.
Hermits. So 10cc.
Yeah.
Barclay James Harvest. So there's two great 20-song Manchester playlists that are going to be available on our website starting next Monday on Spotify.
And we were talking a bit before, but this is amongst us. But wow, what news out of Manchester this week? Like, it seems like every week we're talking about something
horrific
that's happened, right? And I remember like. I was up and talking to a friend, texting, and I heard the news about Manchester. And of course, we have a lot of ties and friends in Manchester, like, because we run an event there. So it's very scary. I first messaged everybody, let me know you're okay and all that. I was up till about 3 or 4 waiting to get responses, and had responses from pretty much everybody at that time. But can't even imagine being one of the parents, like children.
Yeah, like me dropping my kids off for an NSYNC concert, 20 years ago or whatever, 15 years ago.
Yeah, so it's sad when you're like I think we even messaged it out, like a concert's meant to be a joyous event and
carefree. That's where you forget your worries for 2 hours.
You escape.
Yeah, you turn your phone off unless you're watching the whole concert through it, which if you are, you're an idiot. Watch with your eyes and don't tape the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should escape from everything for a couple hours and not have to worry and buy a t-shirt and have fun.
Yeah, and
Scream at your idols.
It kind of made me think about last week I was in New York, or week before I was in New York and saw the Cult, and man, going into that venue, it was like airport security, like belt off, everything out of your pockets,
Metal detector, the whole nine.
Yeah, you walk through the metal detectors and all that stuff, and that may be kind of the norm soon,
It's an inconvenience, but I think it's something we're going to have to live with and not begrudge the time it takes to get in, and maybe much like flying nowadays, go a little bit earlier, and or you're going to miss the opening act, like a lot of people did, like Mumford and Sons. I think a lot of people missed them. When U2 kicked off their tour, there was some security issues going in out in Vancouver,
right?
Which I'm sure they fixed since then, but I don't know exactly what it was. It was the first night of the tour, so there's always glitches, getting into the facility.
I literally just thank the security guy for keeping us safe, because he's just doing his job.
Yeah, and they're the frontline person.
Yeah, and but yeah, it's just it's such a sad thing, and it just seems like that's going to be the norm. Is you got to go through security to get in.
Yeah,
and it's a shame, but our thoughts are with all the people affected.
Yeah, and all our friends in England I've been supporting all week. I don't know what side it's on, but I've had my England colors on just in solidarity. And I want to say, I don't know, congratulations is the wrong word, or thank you to our friends Kevin Drew and Brendan Canning. They played the next night in Manchester, and I thought it was such a Canadian thing, as opposed to very easily pulling the plug.
Yeah.
What that city probably needed more than anything else was a little bit of healing, and Broken Social Scene got up on stage, much like good Canadians. Just always, Canadians are like good defensemen. They're always around the world. They're like your support team.
Yeah.
They're always there in time of trouble, and God love Brendan and Kevin and the rest of the band for playing, and then to have Johnny Marr come up.
Yeah.
Which just would have taken it over the top to have a hometown hero on stage the next night, just saying, stand together, be strong.
And if you don't know Johnny Marr's guitar stuff,
the Smiths.
Yeah. So, which is
one of the biggest bands that ever came out of Manchester. So.
Yeah, exactly. Which reminds me, I did a quick tweet out to Mike Joyce, make sure he's okay and his family. And Mike,
the drummer of the Smiths, and has visited us at Indie Week Canada and Indie Week Manchester as well.
Absolutely, so, anyways, not much more to say.
No.
That. Just sorry that this is kind of like the state of things, and I hope Manchester heals, and thoughts with the families.
It doesn't happen again anywhere, but
yeah,
we know that's probably not true, unfortunately, in this day and age. So.
Exactly.
But be safe. Take an extra precaution wherever you're going. Look around for something suspicious.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid to tell someone, and be it a fireman or a police officer. And congratulations to my friend Brian Ratustek. I'm going to his retirement party tonight. He was fireman in this city for 35 years. So
wow,
for all the first line of defense, everyone out there, we're gonna have a beer for you tonight, Brian.
Excellent. Anything else to say? Last notes. End it on a high note somehow.
Yeah. How do we end it on a high note?
I just. The things that we are, we don't say enough probably is like promoting our own stuff.
Yeah,
but,
true.
One thing to think about is our applications for Indie Week, if you're a band looking to play, is going to close July 11th, which will come really quickly.
It's June next week all of a sudden, so you're about 6 weeks away.
Exactly.
7, yeah.
So if you're interested, go to canada.indieweek.com/apply. All the info's there.
Yeah, you can apply on Sonic Bids or you can apply on PayPal.
Yeah. We're going to have industry events. There's conferencing, artist showcases. If you're an international artist, you play 3 times. If you're an artist from out of province, you play twice.
At least.
So at least or more. And it's a great event, so check it out. And also, like Cam said, every Monday we have Spotify playlists that go up. Mm-hmm. And next week's dedicated to Manchester.
Yeah, and 40 songs, so they're big. You spend a couple hours at your desk and just put them on, and
it's great.
Think happy Monday thoughts.
There you go.
Wow.
Cam always knows how to tie it all up. All right, so we look forward to talking to you next week. Put comments on our wall. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all easy to find. Just look for Indie Week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, thanks. Have a good weekend,
Right.
everyone.
Cheers.
I know it's Thursday, but it always feels like Friday.